Hey everyone, this is Jim Johnson. I am the line editor for the Star Trek Adventures role-playing game, and I wanted to take just a few minutes today to tell you a little bit about a new book that just came out, the Star Trek Adventures, I'll do it over here, Star Trek Adventures Command Division Supplemental Rulebook. This just came out, it's been available for pre-order in print and PDF for a little while now, about over a month, and the PDF only version just went available on sale today. So it's been available to some people for a while. But now it is available to anyone who wants it on PDF, also available for print order, and it'll be rolling out to stores in the coming weeks and months, to your local retail stores or to distributors, all that good stuff, all around the world. Of course, depending on where you live, it may take a while to get there, but in the meantime, PDFs are available right now on Modifius.net and Drive-Thru RPG, so go grab yourself a copy. I was the lead writer and developer on this, so I thought I would tell you just a little bit about the secrets. This is my comp copy that arrived a couple days ago. I have not opened it yet, so I thought I would open it up right now and show it to you. This is not going to be a review of the book. Obviously, since I wrote it, I don't feel like I should really review it. That should be up to you all, the fans. And so I thought I would just kind of show you the book, give you a little bit of an introduction to it, tell you some of the behind-the-scenes stuff that went on while we were developing it, and then hope you enjoy it. I won't take a whole lot of your time, but we'll get right into it, shall we? So again, this is the Star Trek Adventures Command Division Rulebook. This is all about the men and women and aliens who wear the red in the Next Gen era, or Command Gold in the TOS era. You'll see the front is a original piece of art, which is absolutely beautiful. There's a secret about this piece of art that I cannot tell you, but you will discover more about it in the coming months. There's something very special about this piece of artwork that you'll discover very, very soon. And then the back cover has the information text, and is also, I thought, really clever, was the it kind of echoes the TNG uniform kind of chevron design. This is the red, of course, for the Command Division. In TNG era, it would be gold, of course, in TOS, and different colors in the motion picture era, the lovely pastel pajamas, right? So that is the cover. Again, this is a supplement for the core rulebook, which I have right here. So there won't be any point in getting this if you don't already have this. This is there we go. There's the core rulebook, and you can see this is my copy. So I've got all my great GM and writing reference tabs right there on the front, and you can see a little bit of wear and tear on the corners already, because this is a much used and much loved book and game. So let's talk a little bit about the command book. This is the first, actually this is the second book that I was really kind of in charge of shepherding to the end. The first one was the These Are the Voyages, the first adventure book, which is that one right there. I was I did the editing and compiling and art briefs and stuff on that book. So that's the first one I really worked on as lead, but this was the one nearest and dearest to my heart, the command book. I put a lot of love and sweat and tears into this, along with my co-writers, Nathan Dowdell, who is also the lead developer for the 2D20 system for Modifius, and Aaron Palea, who wrote all the Starships that you'll find in here and also in the core book, and pretty much every single Star Trek Adventures book that you buy. Anytime you see a starship, it's probably written by Aaron. He does fantastic work. He also does a lot of good adventures for the Living campaign, and he'll have some standalone adventures coming up too. So check out his work, because he's a really good writer, and I love working with him because he's so much fun. So again, there's the credits page, lovely credits page information. This command source book tells you about the Command Division to some extent in Starfleet. Provides you more information and more statistics for your characters. That builds on the information that's in the core rulebook. It doesn't change anything from the core rulebook. It just builds onto it. It's literally a supplement, not a required supplement, but more nice to have. Talks a little bit more about Federation vessels. We provide another 20 space frames and vessels in here. So the ones that you thought were missing from the core book, they're in here. More information about using the Command Division, and then a selection of NPCs that GMs and players can use. So one thing I wanted to note is I wrote, there's a lot of original art in here, and I wrote the art briefs for many of them. One of the ones I'm most proud of is this this one right here. I don't know if you can see it through the glare, but that is a Maori captain who is just about to take command of his first ship. I had the good fortune of spending my honeymoon in New Zealand, and absolutely needed to find a way to get a Maori representation into the game. So that was my contribution to that. You'll find that I wrote about a third of this book. Nathan wrote about a third, and then Aaron wrapped it up. So the three of us together contributed a ton to this. Here's another great piece of art that I had fun with. If you get a chance to look at it, that is a Andorian captain running away from a bunch of aliens. My inspiration for that, of course, was Raiders of the Lost Ark, when Indy is running away from all the natives at the beginning of the movie. So some inspiration there. The print version came out really, really nice. I've had the PDF for a while now, but this is the first time I've had a chance to see it in print. So I'm quite impressed, and of course it's got that beautiful new print smell. This is printed in the Czech Republic. I think this might be one of the first books I have that's been printed in the Czech Republic, but it has that lovely new ink smell. There's some great information about the Judge Advocate General, JAG, Judiciary. Some other information about Starfleet. Little point of trivia for you. I've been playing or GMing Star Trek for 30-something years, even before the FASA game came out. So it's been FASA, Last Unicorn Games, Decipher, and then a bunch of homebrews mixed in throughout there, and then of course Star Trek Adventures. And I have most of the material that all those different companies published, and they were all used as references when I was writing this. So you will probably find Easter eggs sprinkled throughout here, just that I've pulled from Last Unicorns, Decipher, FASA, just because it's all part of the fabric of Star Trek gaming now, right? And I wanted to make sure that I had a nod to all of that stuff while I was writing this. So when I was sitting here at my computer writing, I had like a big stack of books just on the floor, on the table, on the desks, just everywhere, as I was putting this draft together. Just like the core rule book, we have sidebars sprinkled in throughout, illustrating different pieces of the text, or providing some nuanced information. They're fun to read. They were fun to write, and I hope you get something out of them. Again, sometimes the sidebars contain a little bit of trivia or sneaky surprises. We talk about the Starfleet Academy just a little bit there, and the Command Division, specifically how it relates to the Command Division. So this book was really meant to be focused on the Command Division, the Command and Con positions that are in the game. There will be a Sciences supplement that covers Sciences and Medical, and there'll be an Operations book that covers Engineering and Security. So this is the red book. There'll be a gold book, and then there'll be a blue book as well. So those three books together are a collective whole. And again, this one was focused specifically on command. A little bit about operations and command level officers, and some information about senior staff. It's always been so in all my gaming, Star Trek gaming, I've always ended up playing either the captain or the XO for the most part, and so I've got a ton of experience, like role playing and figuring out how to use the senior staff, how to develop that in a role playing perspective. So that's why some of these sidebars in here are about developing your officers, transferring the chain of command, some personal logs, that kind of stuff, just to try to bring in some of that experience I've had over the last 30 years to you. And by no means am I an expert, but it is one of many perspectives that you can play with. Nathan did a fantastic job on the Command School chapter, bringing in more insights about the not just the command characters like commanders and captains, but also there's a whole set of rules in here about playing an Admiralty campaign, where if you decide, hey, I want to be an admiral, I want to be Admiral Ross or Admiral Nechayev or somebody else, then there are options here where you can actually play beyond just a captain or a commander or whatever, and do some other stuff. You TOS fans will appreciate, or actually the animated series fans will appreciate the Edoin piece of artwork there. Pretty cool stuff. 3 phasers blazing away. Tried to really make sure that all eras of Star Trek were represented in the artwork and in the text, even though the text is pretty much agnostic as far as timeline. The cover, of course, is TNG because that's the default era for the game, but you can run all eras of Star Trek with this, so don't worry about feeling left out. Plus TOS has some cool stuff coming, so just be patient, but enjoy this as you can. A lot of new focuses in here, so more command-based focuses for both the command department and also con. We got a whole chapter here on con. Some beautiful artwork. Here's a fantastic piece of art that Sam Webb, the line manager, added in. This is a great piece of a Luna-class starship flying through space with some space-looking creatures, and that's just gorgeous. I just love. It looked great in PDF and on the screen, but in print, of course, it's just delicious, right? So more command stuff. We get into this Federation vessels. So most of the vessels that were missing, well, not missing, but weren't included in the core rule book, have been included here. These are all pretty much canon starships. The NX, the Constitution refit. We include Hermes, Oberth, Sydney, Centaur, Ambassador, which I've served on for a number of years. Nebula class, New Orleans, Olympic, Steamrunner, Norway, Saber, Sovereign, and Luna class, which is originated in the novel series, one of the novel series, Star Trek Titan. The Luna class Titan was Riker's first command, Captain Riker, and it's really cool ship. Original design by Sean Tarango. I'm not sure about the pronunciation there, but kind of carries the tradition forward. We also include some statistics and information on small craft. I tried to make sure that every shuttle type was included in here, as well as the Work Bee, one of my personal favorites. And then we get into some GM-specific stuff about using the command division in your games. And I really worked hard to try to include these little tables here. If you need to create a quick plot component, this builds on some ideas from the core book. So if you need some thematic plot components to add into your game related to command or con people, there's some options here along with some information about how each of those relate, like conspiracy, diplomacy, first contact, political, specifically oriented toward command characters. The sciences and operations books will continue this, so you'll see these charts again in those future books as well. So if you have an operations officer or an operations player character and you want them to do, you need something more for them to do, this is a way for you to throw in a plot component into your ongoing game to try to bring more role-playing out of it. Another thing that we've added, this was actually in the draft of the operations source book that I loved, because I was going to originally include it as an appendix, but this was a better way to do it as a sidebar, is we include just a few episode examples, if you can see it here, a few episode examples of episodes that focus on command, focus on con. The future books will have episodes that focus on sciences and operations, medical, and engineering and security. And the reason I wanted to make sure this was included is because we're in a new generation of Star Trek fans who may not have watched a lot of TNG or TOS or DS9 or Voyager or whatever, and may want to come into a Star Trek game and say, hey, I'm going to be playing a commander. What does that mean? Give me an episode that I can watch online or stream it or grab a disc or something and watch it. What are some good example episodes of a command type of episode, or what are some good examples of a pilot doing stuff, or what are some good examples of an engineer doing really cool stuff in an episode? And so, try to provide one episode for each of the series, because we didn't want to overwhelm you, and plus everyone has access to the internet, which means you can probably find tons of episode synopses and discussions online. I know they're out there, but we just wanted to try to give you a sense, like initially. So for command, the ones I picked were Cogenitor from Enterprise, Balance of Terror from original series, Best of Both Worlds Part 1, In the Pale Moonlight, and Caretaker. I thought these were all really good examples of commanders and captains having to make really hard choices that would translate really well to the game table for role-playing purposes, for putting a player character into a situation and going, oh my gosh, I'm responsible for the crew, or I'm responsible for this away team or landing party. I'm responsible for this. I got to role-play my way through this. How do I make that decision, right? And how have other people made that decision? So that was just a way to try to give new players and people fairly new to Star Trek just some starting point where they can watch a handful of episodes and go, okay, I kind of get how command works, or I know, kind of get a sense of how a captain operates. Short of watching, 1,000 hours of Star Trek, right? Because there's so much Star Trek out there now, which is definitely a good problem to have. Again, the book is full color. The print version is full color, black background, mirroring the LCARS layout from TNG and DS9 eras and Voyager. When you buy a print version, you simply let Modiphius know that you bought it, and proof of purchase. Send them support@modiphius.com. They will send you a PDF of the color version, and they'll also send you a PDF of the printer-friendly version, which is a white background with dark text on top of it. So for those of you who are visually challenged, or who want to print this stuff off and don't want to burn a million toner cartridges, printing all this beautiful, beautiful black, that is an option for you. So again, here's the episodes for Khan. It was a little trickier to find some of those because you don't want to just dramatically pilot the ship, right? There's more for Khan officers to do than that, and that's why there's more plot components in here to really try to get at that. Other than that, I think that Nathan included some more information on social conflicts. Again, this builds on the information in the core rulebook. It's not required to play by any means, but it is more optional stuff for Game Master and players to use while they're at the game table. There's also a nice long sidebar about telepathy. So for those of you who are playing Vulcans or Betazoids or other psionic-oriented races, that is some options for you to play with. Let's see, more lovely art. Some information on star bases that will be probably expanded on in future supplements, but I just wanted to give folks just more meat to play with. Some information about awards and commendations, so other ways to spend your renown. For those of you who don't know what else to do with it, there's some awards to here. I think there's certainly opportunity for these awards to be expanded in future supplements, but there's also some good information online from Memory Alpha, Memory Beta, elsewhere about different awards that are out there. Tying into the Admiralty campaign, there's an option for fleet engagements. So if you are an admiral in charge of a sector or in charge of a whole bunch of starships as opposed to just one, that is some options there for you to play with. And then we get into some NPCs for GMs and players to use as reference or to drop into your games. We included some canon characters, including Commodore April and Nechayev. There's a beautiful piece of art of Nechayev there from TNG, and was she in DS9? No, I think she was just in TNG a few episodes. Leighton, Vice Admiral Leighton is in here. We have some diplomats and delegates, including Sarek and Curzon Dax and Luoxana Troy. I believe Nathan wrote most of these NPCs and did a lovely job as always. And then we've got some other stock NPCs, negotiators, diplomats, attachés. These are, again, all related to NPCs that you would likely find in the command or con departments. So we wanted to, again, this is focused specifically on con and command. So keep that in mind. And that is pretty much it. So again, not wanting to review it too much in too much detail. Back cover is a beautiful piece of art of all the different starships in Star Trek. I think this was pulled from a Ships of the Line book at one point. Either way, it's really, really nice to see all the different starships. And then the inside front cover is one of the nice promotional piece of arts of the crew on a TOS Constitution-class bridge fighting Klingon boarders. So that, essentially, again, is just a quick overview of the Star Trek Adventures Command Supplement. Again, I'm Jim Johnson, lead writer, line developer for the game. Had my hands in a lot of the products, but really enjoyed working on this one. I hope you enjoy reading it. I hope you find a lot of use for it in your game. Any questions, please let me know. I'm available online, on Twitter, in most of the Facebook groups for Star Trek Adventures, also Google+, and on the Modiphius forums. I'm not hard to find. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a great day. Live long and prosper.